excited to be back on.
Well, man, listen, it's been a while since we've spoken to you on a music tip.
I know, there's been so much other business going on that I'm excited. I'm really able to get out and promote SKI now. The first joint off the project that I released, Get Low, is featuring, Jeremiah, T.I., and 2 Chainz. And that song came about, like, I actually recorded it. It's just like the tones of what's going on in the city right now, like, and what I hear a lot, like, playing and stuff, like, it gives you that erotic vibe that you feel like in a strip club environment.
That's what I was thinking. So, it feels like one of those strip club joints.
Yeah, like, that's what I was shooting for with that record, and then I feel good about it. Like, the response that I got to it is good, so I'm ready to roll on with some of the other stuff that I had planned for this record.
I mean, the thing is, it feels like, the stuff that you're doing still feels very New York, whereas a lot of New York artists these days are making stuff that feels like it's from Atlanta.
Right. You know what's odd is, look, I had my moment during Get Rich or Die Trying because I wasn't following trends. I did 50 Cent while everyone else was doing what they were doing. Like, it flip-flops. It goes from really safe music or real comfortable music or fun energy within music to a darker, harder energy within our culture. So, like, there's points. 50 Cent came before 50 Cent, but he was DMX.
I hear that.
And then there was the Ja Rules and with Nelly's energy, like with Down. And Nelly said some hardcore stuff, but it never registered how aggressive the content was and the things that he was saying. Because he was saying, it's going down, down, baby. Street sweeper, boom, boom, ready to let it go. But it felt like because he went to Chitty Chitty Cocoa Puff after that, it didn't feel like it was an aggressive record. You know what I mean? That's
the thing that used to make me laugh. In the UK, we used to play the version on daytime radio with Street Sweeper Baby. And I was like, listen, do you understand what a street sweeper is?
Yeah. It just felt like he did it in a way that was so slick that it didn't register. And people didn't look at him like he was the kind of artist that would use a street sweeper.
Whereas with you got put through the mill quite a lot, man, didn't you?
Yeah. So it's like I got bumped around a lot before I got a chance for people to listen to the music. Like, a lot of the material was coming out. I was already conditioned to put it out on my own.
I mean, I've been a fan of yours since Power of the Dollar. So, I mean, this is how long I've been riding with you.
You know better than a lot of people that with Power of the Dollar, like, they didn't understand what I was trying to do creatively. Like, and I had to do things that would force people to pay attention, like the How to Rob song.
So with Street Kings Immortal, with SKI, is that you going back to that essence, going back to that, do you know what, I'm just going to do it myself, I'm going to put it out myself, and whatever it is, you're going to like it or you're not? Right.
I think, well, in order for you to have a moment, you got to be who you are. Like, I always felt like a lot, like what you're hearing now when you say it sounds like an Atlanta-based record is people following trends. And it's really interesting because you know how desperate people are if they're going, let me make a song that feels like the song that's playing on the air right now versus making something that just feels like this is fresh or this is new. You know what I'm saying? Or this feels like a different energy, like it's a hit regardlessly because of the content that what you're saying on the record. But it feels different from all of the other stuff that's there. Like, you gotta take chances in order to win really big. Like with Get Rich or Die Trying, like the records that I made a lot of aggressive content, so I was able to go to records that could work worldwide when it was time to release the album. Like, now what we're seeing is a lot of these records are starting in the nightclub. They're starting online, starting on the internet, becoming hits in the nightclub, and then go on the radio. You know what I'm saying? So it's happening from the opposite because the mix show DJs is in the nightclub environment. After they're off the radio, they're at the nightclub spinning. So those DJs, when they play a song and they get a response out of it in the nightclub, they're going, yo, this record is getting hot. And then they start to play it on the air. And if people put the right support behind it at that point, look, when you have records that say, I caught a body about a week ago and I'm in love with the cocoa and these different records, one is saying I killed someone a week ago. The other song is saying I'm in love with cocaine. Those records, you can't intend for those records to be singles. Those records are great album cuts. When they come on the internet and people get a chance to embrace it on their own time, they start to grow, and then they perform like singles.
Do you think that's a good thing?
Well, it's changing the business. Like, it makes, I think it takes the power out of radio on some levels. You know what I'm saying? Because now you can make the song, let it go out, and people embrace it and like it and go from there. Now, both of those records are introduction records. So they don't know who Bobby Shmurda is before I Caught a Body about a week ago. They don't know who Genesis is until I'm in love with the cocoa. So they'll accept anything that's completely up to standard from the beginning. Like, if you can make a record, it don't necessarily have to have content that everyone will embrace, but people will recognize you off that song, and it'll start to define who you are as an artist.
History, man. I've got to talk to you about, you know, the fact is that you've been one of the most entertaining MCs throughout history, because you've not been afraid to say what's on your mind, and you've not been afraid to pick off other artists. Any beefs that you regret from back in the day?
No, you know what? Like, a lot of those things, it is being a part of hip-hop culture. It is being competitive. It is being in a position where I had a lot of issues because I had such a prominent position in the culture for a long time that if you had a problem with someone, it'd have to be me for it to mean anything. Like, I sold 13 million records. The first album was the largest debut in hip-hop album. A lot of the artists that you talk to that had some success, they don't have no diamonds next to the albums. I had 2 albums that went diamond, scanned over 10 million copies worldwide. So it's like making comparisons. Like, we can directly compare my success to Eminem's success. It's wrong, though. There's so much success connected to Eminem's music that it's wrong. You shouldn't even compare it. Like, when you compare Jay-Z to Eminem, it's completely wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not, there's no way. Like, he's had sold 1 million records consistently to the same people for a while, and then the biggest musical deal he did was his wife. Like, his wife happens to be one of the greatest R&B singers of our time. So that does put cool around and sustains it in a different way. But I've seen points that we've packaged things and marketed like equals. Eminem's Detroit show and then Jay-Z's New York show, and they do them together like they're equivalent to each other. And it's like, do you realize one artist has sold 60 million records more than the other?
That also feeds into what you were saying before, though, because the perception is different about M and J.
Yeah, you can work that out. You can make it look like bigger, but it's not necessarily. I don't see it. Like, I don't, because I had to. We looked at actual record sales in the past. Now, if we're saying we're not looking at record sales because you can't sell those records in this climate, then what are we looking at? Are we looking at how many times they streamed your record? Who's interested in you? Who's not? Like, how you marketed yourself? Like, that's what. Then we're becoming marketing people. How you position yourself to the general public, like, would decide whether you're hot or not. You know, so then it becomes more business than music.
Speaking of business, I have to ask you about Tidal, because you've been very outspoken about Tidal so far. What are your thoughts on it?
First of all, I think anything that Jay's really passionate about or involved in is going to be a success. Because our culture is rare that you get into something and people don't listen or don't take note of what you're saying. Like, the real reason why, if Tidal came out without Jay-Z's association to it, I don't think it would even be a conversation piece. You see what I'm saying? Because I don't see where there's anything exclusive that would make someone commit to doing it. Like, having all of those established artists up there is cool, and their fans will move on them being there. But they don't have the power to do anything exclusively because they're signed to major record companies.
Do you think it would be more powerful if it was a group of independent artists coming together?
Oh, yeah, because if they were passionate about it enough and they really believed in it, they could say, I'm releasing this album only on Tidal. So if they have millions of fans that would want the music, immediately you get Tidal for it. It's like saying it's commercial television versus premium cable. So because this music is going to come out, it's going to be on every platform because they're on commercial. Artists that are signed to major record companies are on a commercial platform. They can't tell. A major record company is not going to say, okay, we're going to just distribute on Tidal. When the artist has the power to say, well, this particular project, I'm only going to launch it here. There's going to be a lot of perks or a lot of things that people would want if they're passionate about the artist to go there and support, you know, the artist movement at that point. Like, I don't know. I think overall, I think that he can figure it out. Like I figure out everything that I involve myself in, but it's not a clear win in my mind because you still got to figure out how to make people decide to spend that money when it's more to be a part of Tidal than it is to be a part of the platforms that will provide it right now, like Spotify or all the other streaming services. Like, it's more expensive to have Tidal, and it's not like that you're going to get anything that you're not getting from those other companies.
So is that kind of saying that we're not going to get a This Is 50 streaming service?
I don't know. You got to wait and see what I'm doing next, you know?
I love that, man. I love that.
Yeah, you know, like, I'll be working 24/7, so, you know, you never know when I pop up with something.
I don't know what you heard about
Show your business ventures at this moment in time, man. We've got the headphone range. We've got the vodka, which I'll be honest, that surprised me more than anything else because I know you don't drink.
Well, you know, I do. When I drink, it's occasionally. It's not like what Banks and Yayo would say they drink, right? And this is because they drink every available opportunity. Like they have to drink. Like they drink, so they so often hear me go, "Nah, I'm cool. Did they hear? Like he don't drink." Because when we're around each other and they choose to do it, but everything's good in moderation. I think that, you know, like when you utilize it responsibly, it's fine. The timing had to be right, like because I had a lot of aggressive energy around the material that I did early on. I didn't want to do anything that wouldn't register positive away from, you know, the music itself. So I went towards vitamins and vitamin water projects or different things like that, or just a better version of energy. Like SK was my energy drink company. Was like now it's number 2 behind 5 Hour Energy. So it's clearly a successful project, but I made sure there was no taurine in it and different things that would give you jitters because I knew that a younger demo would be interested in it. And then just the formulation of it, the flavor of it, like, you know what I mean? So the energy shot category to me was a cool category to get into. Like I was making the young man's coffee, the up at night studying for midterms energy shot. You know what I'm saying? Like where it didn't have to be completely disgusting, but you could still get the job done.
So what you're basically saying is that you created something that has meant that there have been a lot more people graduating.
Right, like, you know, like I'm responsible for the rate going up. You know, nobody gives me credit when credit is due. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, why nobody talk about that? Why the newspaper didn't write that part?
They don't want to give you credit for that. Come on. That'd be writing something positive about you in mainstream media. That's not going to happen.
Come on, man. That never happened. You know what I mean? I can cross the street when the light changed and they say, look, 50's jaywalking.
But they're not talking about the fact that you were jaywalking potentially to go and do a multi-million-dollar deal that's going to benefit millions of people.
Yeah, and they're not even talking about the crowd of people that were around me jaywalking at the same time. All of a sudden, I get a chance to be the focus. Yeah, well, I made a television series about it. It'll be out shortly because I was working with Peter Tolan. The television series is called It Ain't All That. And it's about the perception of things versus the reality of them and how people kind of change them. Like, look, for example, like the general public loves tragedy so much that if I say all the hit records that Britney Spears had, right, at different points they spent millions and millions and millions of dollars in marketing, sometimes $24 million on one album, right?
Yeah.
And still, none of those albums managed to get the coverage that she got when she shaved her head bald and she's swinging the umbrella at the camera.
True.
Like, everybody remembers that part because it was covered everywhere. Every news publication, everybody did it, and guess what? They did it for free that time because it was to show her in a negative light, and it was something that she was going through. It was obviously internal confusion. It was coming from my personal life. You know what I'm saying? So when I see those things happen, I go, wow, you know how much it would have cost? The publicity, this much publicity around something like, it's like the Kardashians' dad making a change. That is, you know how much money you would have had to just have a regular traditional campaign be covered that well? You know what I mean? Be millions and millions and millions of dollars to have that messaging cut across that many people.
That's scary.
Yeah, I can care less about it. It's just so weird. It's just so strange. Like at 65, for you to make that change, I was like, what is really going on? Yeah, but it must have been something going on there for a long time. I don't know exactly what it was, but something was going on.
Just wanted to say thank you very much for your time, man. And not only that, you know, thank you for the music. And also, I have to ask you one very important question that if I didn't, the whole UK scene would lynch me for. What UK music are you up on at this moment in time, 50?
But I'm listening to a lot of new stuff that's out there. I want to work with like new emerging artists coming out of there. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to figure out who the right guys are to jump on records with and do different things. I'm getting ready to come out there. July 17th, I'm in the O2 Arena in London.
Okay, so when you're over, what I need to do is I need to put together some of the artists so that you can make sure that you meet them so that you know that you're working with the right people.
Yeah, like, I mean, I need to, like, I listen to the music and stuff, because some of them have styles that are compatible with me. They just work. You know what I mean? It's easier fit than others. And then, not that I'm not up for it, you know, I just got to hear the music to be inspired to want to be a part of it. Like, a lot of times, like, I don't make a lot of decisions based on finances at this point. Like, for me, I got to hear the song, and when I like the record, I'm like, all right, come on, let's go. Let's just do it. You know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't mean like in the past, like Jeremiah, Down on Me. I did Down on Me. I did YG's Tooted and Booted and Man's Buzzing. I did those the same night, all three of those records.
Whoa.
As soon as I got to Los Angeles, I recorded it, and it was YG's first hit record. It was Jeremiah's hit following his, he had birthday sex at that point. But it's what survived that actual album for him, and now he's rolling now. They both up and rolling.
I noticed you didn't mention Man, because everyone forgot about him straight after that record.
Yeah, but that record did well for him. Like, that's his hit.
That's true. He came out to the UK. We actually took him over to Spain. The station did, and we had a performance with him, and people only knew your verse.
Come on, man, you gotta get it together. I mean, sometimes they don't cut through, like the artists don't cut through, but I that was my attempt to work with new artists, and two of them was like West Coast based, and Jeremiah was out of Chicago. You know what I mean? Like, it was just doing different things, and we got two of them that really went over the wall. Like, that was a top 5 record internationally with Man, and then Jeremiah got a #1. You know, he sold millions of singles with that actual song. And Def Jam almost didn't want that record to be a hit. Like, I had to struggle to get his record into the right position. Like, we shot a music video for it in a recording studio ourselves. I had to find Kanan Cahill and come out the kid's closet. He's like a YouTube star that do voiceovers or covers. Like, he'll play the music and make his facial expressions. But after me and Kanan did it, I had Chelsea Handler put it on her show. It jumped so crazy. I think it got like 30 million views, and it sent it to #10 on iTunes. And then Def Jam found the money, and they just felt like Jeremiah was amazing after that. You know, I mean, it take a while for them to see it sometimes, but if you listen to the song, I told you, 50 and Jeremiah, #1, there's nothing better. Because the record just felt like that to me when I heard it.
And sometimes it takes someone with that vision, with that appeal, to be able to make sure that the label understands what's going on.
Right, and then at that point, we was doing it without them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, this is why they get the disgruntled energy from Jeremiah at this point. Like, now, it's easy for him to just look at them and be like, okay, I'm shooting a video today? No, you're shooting a video today. He'll have everybody out there thinking they shooting a music video and won't even show up.
You taught him that. That's your fault, 50.
Yo, they spend a lot of money on it, and if you sit there, he'd be like, man, I'm not going. It's the same people that wouldn't even do nothing when we had the song. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like, I know, but you gotta go.
Please tell me you've heard of an artist called Wiley out here in the UK, because he does that all the time.
It just doesn't show up?
Put it this way, he's had a deal with every major label. Every major label has dropped him for the same reason. He's just gone, I've got your check, I don't really want to do that.
Yeah, that's why he needs to sign to me, so we could beat his ass. We'll beat his ass if he take my money and don't show up.
And on that note, 50, when you are in the UK, you need to come in live, sir. We need to have a proper face-to-face conversation, man. It needs to happen.
Yeah, I need to meet Wiley, too, because he's probably not showing up for reasons that we don't know.
We'll make that happen.
It's probably something creative that's going on, or the way they're treating them that's making them not want to work with them.
I hear that.
And artists don't usually do that, like, because we love the music. We love what we do. So it's not like we won't show up for the song that we made that we want to be special. You know what I'm saying?
A 50 Cent Wiley record, that actually would change the world right now.
Yeah, and then we both could not show up to the
Listen, man, whenever you want to start that stand-up comedy career and take Kevin Hart out, I'm backing you 150%.